Hi, my name is Mike Grant with Tsurumi Pump here at the Experience Show. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about Tsurumi pumps for the remediation industry. Tell you a little bit about Tsurumi. We're a Japanese pump manufacturer with electric submersible pumps made in both Japan and Taiwan. We've been in business since 1924. We've been here in the United States for over 40 years. Where we really cut our teeth over the years was selling to equipment rental stores, like Sunbelt Rental, who's here at the show. We sell a very high quality pump that's built for continuous duty. The models we're going to talk about today are going to be Model HS2, LSC, LSR, and LB480. Every pump does something different for every application. So a lot of you guys in this industry are used to what we call a throwaway pump, something you can buy at a big box store. It's cheaper to throw it away and buy a new one when it breaks than it is to repair. The pumps that we manufacture are all built for continuous duty. They're meant to run and run and run, real workhorses. 100% copper motor windings in the pump. Here we have a cutaway of that pump showing those motor windings. So as we run down the list here, okay, the first pump we're going to talk about here is our Model HS2.4S, which is a dirty water pump. Okay, if you were here today, you saw in the KleenRite booth, we have our display set up. This is a pump that we will literally bury it in sand when we demo it. Very aggressive for clean outs, for crawl space usage. You know, I know a lot of guys in the remediation industry ask me, what is a good crawl space pump? This HS2, it has a built-in agitator. It mixes up, suspends, and pulls the water through. At the end of the day, you're not pumping trash, you're pumping dirty water, and you want to get that water through. I went online and wanted to do a search, Tsurumi pump crawl space pump. And if you'll see here, first pump that comes up on the list is the Tsurumi here. All the Tsurumi models we're talking about today are in that search. So we talk about the feature of this pump. I mentioned the agitator, built-in agitator. As I mentioned, these pumps are built to last. We warranty them for 2 years. This is our biggest seller to the rental market, the construction supply market, to the disaster remediation market. It's a very forgiving pump in dirty water applications. Think about a flooded basement. Think about a flooded yard outside that you need to pump. You need to pump that water clean. You don't want that pump clogging where you're pulling it out, having to remove debris, and then starting it up again. If you look at, we have a breakdown of all the features. We talk about our anti-wicking block. What's that? You think, oh, it's just a cable. What we do, we cut our leads, we coat them in epoxy. So if this pump is rolling around in your truck, that cable gets cut, the water is going to incur, it's going to go towards your heat source, which is your motor. With this cable wicking device, it'll stop right here. You're just replacing the cable, you're not replacing the pump. Being the actual manufacturer of pumps, a lot of our competition, they have pumps made for them and put their name on it. We actually manufacture these pumps. We don't have to cut corners to bring our product to market. So we have the best features, the best quality, we feel we do out there on the market. So we talk about motor protection, circle thermal motor in all of our pumps. And we make these pumps up to 150 horsepower. And if we had one of our 150 horsepower pumps as tall as me here, and we looked at the inside of that pump, it's going to look exactly the same, just a different version. My point is, the quality that we put into those 150 horsepower pumps, we also put into our half horsepower pumps. And we're very proud of that. You know, about a year and a half ago during the pandemic, we had donated some pumps to a project in Massachusetts. Tsurumi, the title of the article is Tsurumi Pump Helps Bring Arts Building to Life in Massachusetts. And I kind of clipped a couple of points from the article, mainly this model HS2.4S that we just talked about. One is permanently in place in the lower part of the basement, but it talks a little bit about how it really is a good crawl space pump. And you see where they built this little sump pit here for the pump, used it throughout the application. Here's a building that's right next to the ocean where you get a lot of water. You've got a high water table. You need a pump that's going to run and run and run at certain times, and it's going to last, that you can count on. So that's the pump. This is a good example of that. We'll provide an article to put on the KleenRite site. I think it's important. And as a company, as a rule, we try to give back where we can. We talk about the model LB480A. We have a relationship with KleenRite in their mega model carpet extractor, which uses this LB480. We're proud of that relationship. Testament, we've been in that relationship for 6 years, and we've not had a pump that's been warranted over that time. Testament to the quality of the product and the quality of KleenRite's mega extractor, both of them. So this is a clean water dewatering pump. So you talk about dirty water, we were just talking about, this is for clean water, continuous duty, a top discharge pump. You notice, as opposed to the side discharge, it has a top discharge. So a pump like this, you can even run it dry if you were to leave it overnight or leave it for an extended period of time. You still have that air going around cooling your motor jacket, okay? So it's a very forgiving pump. We're grateful for KleenRite for using it in their product. I know they're very proud of their products, and we're proud of ours as well. So we talk about the features. A lot of the same features you find on the HS2 that we talked about. One thing we haven't talked about is our impeller. So everything that you come through a pump, this impeller, pumps don't suck. That's a fallacy. The shaft goes into your impeller, turns, and pulls the water in. We have a urethane rubber-coated impeller. I had a gentleman earlier today looked at it and said, well, that looks kind of cheap. That's going to get torn up. Well, years ago when I started with Tsurumi, we would have a cast iron impeller, okay? So people think, well, cast iron's a lot stronger than urethane rubber. Well, that's not the case. Urethane rubber, lighter weight, lasts longer. You think about sand hitting and pitting on cast iron. With a rubber impeller, it just bounces right off. In our testing, after about 2 months of use, you actually get a better performance on this urethane rubber impeller than when it came out of the factory, because the manufacturing burrs are smoothed out. Now let's get to, every pump is going to leave a certain amount of water on the bottom of the job. So we talked about that HS2, the stand and trash pump. That's going to leave about 3 inches of water on the bottom. The LB480, the 2-inch dewatering pump, same, going to leave about 3 inches of water. Now these are what we call residue pumps. If they're orange, they pump real low, okay? How low can you go? You can go to a little less than half of an inch. You can go to 3/16 of an inch. This pump here, the LSC, is a pump we're really excited about. We had created this, and you won't find another one in the industry exactly like this. We had a rental store come to us years ago and asked us if we could come up with a pump for basement dewatering, something that is going to pump more than this type of pump. It'll throw it. A pump like this will do about 20 gallons a minute. This is a heavy-duty, low-level residue dewatering pump. It's going to pump 44 gallons a minute, which is a pretty substantial amount of water through a garden hose. So everybody has a garden hose or easy access to a garden hose. This is a pump. We'll actually fill it up with water prior to use. So it's an internal check valve. We'll hold the water. We'll literally pump both air and water, pick up a puddle off the floor. You can literally transport this. I was telling somebody earlier, we have, I think, 40 of these pumps on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. You think about water pooling along the bridge. You can't necessarily take a big pump and dump it down, but you need to remove that water. You have an electric source. You plug it in. You just drop the pump, hose over the side, boom, boom, boom. So it's unique to the industry. You're doing basement dewatering. You need to get to a very low level. This is the pump that'll do that job. And if you look at the bottom of this pump, you can see literally this is your intake here, and it's probably hard to get a good shot of it, but it'll literally pump both air and water, pick up a puddle off the floor. Internal check valve, built to last, 2-year warranty on all our product. Japanese and Taiwan manufactured. So we're very proud of this product. We think it's really well suited for the remediation industry. Well, why not buy this one? Well, a little more volume on this. What's the difference? Garden hose, 2-inch, okay, discharge. So 63 gallons a minute, 44 gallons a minute. A little more volume, maybe more for an outside job than an inside job. Okay. Roofing contractors, roadwork contractors still need to get low, want to pump a little more volume, want to pump out faster. This is the pump. So this kind of talks over the features and the benefits. Same way, everything on the inside is very similar. These are some application photos: flooded basement, flooded parking lot, rooftop, standing water, road construction. You know, we had a call. I'm from Chicago, and we had a call a couple years ago for a condo high-rise down on the lake when the water level was very high. It happens to be low now. We had a record winter, and what had happened was the water was coming in over the sides whenever there was a storm, and it was flooding everybody in the parking garage. So what we did, and it was actually, this is an example of it here, we put the pump here with a little float switch, and we have 3 of them at the parking garage that solved that problem for our customer. This is more of a permanent installation, but they didn't have to worry about their cars getting flooded in the garage when we had a storm. So, you know, we feel we have a pump that'll provide a solution for any problem. You know, you know, whether you purchase it for your fleet, whether you rent it for a temporary use. As I mentioned earlier, we have a gentleman here in a Sunbelt hat. You know, Sunbelt Rentals carries our pump, and then KleenRite distributes our pumps. And we're very proud of both relationships. We'll see if we can get this going. We talk about how low you can go. Let's see. I don't think we have the internet hooked up here, do you? No, okay. But anyway, the comparison would show this goes down to nothing. This leaves about 3 inches of water at the bottom. So, you know, we have different versions of these pumps, bigger versions that'll pump more, pump less. Like I said, a pump for every application, a pump really geared towards your industry. So, does anybody have any questions? Gentleman in the front. How long have you worked for Tsurumi? 14 years. We really, you know, as sales guys, you always say you're selling, you know, people come by your booth, you say our product is great. I can honestly say I've been with the company for 25 years, and, you know, it sells itself, you know, and I always tell people, it doesn't come back, you know, when I'm selling it. You know, sometimes you sell a product and it comes back to you, and not in the right way, because there's a problem with it. Our product doesn't come back to us. So, you know, we're like the Maytag repairman, if any of you are young and old enough to remember that. So, anyway, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.